Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you a video on the best light bowgun Driftsmelt builds for all elements. So this video explores the best elemental Driftsmelt builds for light bowgun users. We will explore each element and have a priority list of what you should Driftsmelt first so that your builds will become useful off the bat. Now, if there is no element for said element, then you're not going to have a build for it. For example, we don't have a poison light bowgun. There is status ammo in the main series games, but you don't have that yet in Monster Hunter now. So as of right now, we do not have that. So again, if there is no element for said element, there's not going to be a build for it. But hopefully, maybe in the future, we'll get something like that, like a sleep or poison light bowgun. And remember, drift smelting is expensive and requires a lot of luck and patience. Even if you are insta-smelting, your odds of getting the skill you want are very low. This is an endgame build. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be very, very hard and difficult. Most people probably don't have a full build. I actually have one, but another video for that time. But yes, I'm probably the only one, at least on the English side, that has a full build right now because I spent a lot of insta-smelting stuff for it. But that's it. It's really expensive and a lot of really tedious, and yeah, it's just don't have any fear of missing out or anything over it because it's going to take a whole lot of time and a whole lot of luck before you get an endgame build for anything. I call it full building. So if you're going to full build anything, any element, any weapon, for whatever build you're using, it's going to take a while. Maybe, unless you're really, really lucky. So unless you're really, really lucky, you're not going to get the build you want right away. And like you see me using all my insta-smelts right here, it can be a very long, tedious, and unsuccessful process. Alright, first off, we have the Firelight Bowgun Driftsmelt build. Our Driftsmelt armor targets, this is going to be the main for pretty much all of them, is the Lumu Male, which is the Palumu Male, the AZURE Greaves, which are the AZURE Greaves, and the Koropuke Coil, which is the Koropuke Coil. But our priority here is going to be Critical Eye, with our secondary skill going to be Weakness Exploit. Luckily, we can get Fire Attack level 5 without Drift Smelting thanks to AZURE Leggings. Now here's the thing, slot in Crit/Weakness Exploit for the rest of your Drift Smelt slots. Crit Eye level 4 and Wex level 1 is the best for Rathalos LBG, which is the strongest fire light bowgun. Fire is definitely the most flexible element for light bowgun users, so roll and cross your fingers. So yes, it's Crit times 4 and Wex times 1, that's the best per assessment for the Rathalos light bowgun, which is the strongest firelight bowgun. To use this build, you must have the Anjanath helmet at grade 8, the Palumu Mail at grade 8, Anjanath fan braces at grade 8, the Koropuke Coil at grade 8, and the AZURE Greaves at grade 8. Next up, we have the Water Element, and we have the Water Light Bowgun Driftsmelt build. Your Driftsmelt armor targets are going to be the Lumu Mail, the AZURE Greaves, and the Koropuke Coil, with your priority being Water Attack, and your secondary being Critical Eye and Weakness Exploit. The priority is to get Water Attack level 5 for maximum damage. To do this, you need 3 or more drift slots for this, so you need 3 drift smelt slots for this, because water isn't flexible, sadly. And you want to slot in Crit/Weakness Exploit for the rest. Crit Eye level 2 is the best for Koropuke Light Bowgun, which is the strongest water light bowgun. Sadly, water isn't that flexible, so that's all you're going to get out for this build. To use this build, you need the Koropuke helmet at grade 8, the Palumu Mail at grade 8, the Gyrototis fan braces at grade 8, the Koropuke Coil at grade 8, and the AZURE Greaves at grade 8. On to the next element, and we have Thunder. We have the Thunder Light Bowgun Driftsmelt build. And for this build, we will need the Driftsmelt armor targets is the Lumu Mail, the AZURE Greaves, and the Koropuke Coil. Our priority is Thunder Attack, with our secondary being Critical Eye and Weakness Exploit. So the priority is to get Thunder Attack level 5 for maximum damage. This can only be done with only just one Thunder Attack Driftstone, as Thunder is very flexible. Slot the rest with Critical Eye/Weakness Exploit. Critical Eye level 3 and Weakness Exploit level 1 is the highest damage combination for the Zinogre Light Bowgun, which is the strongest Thunder Light Bowgun. Thankfully, Thunder has a lot of flexibility, and thanks to that, you can go ahead and again, just use one slot for Thunder Attack, and the rest you can put in Critical Eye or Weakness Exploit. For this build, you need the Sisiyaku helmet at grade 8, the Palumu Male at grade 8, Zinogre Vambraces at grade 8, the Coral Puke Coil at grade 8, and the AZURE Rathalos Greaves at grade 8. And speaking of Zinogre, Zinogre's lone weakness is ice, so we're moving on to the ice element, which for the ice light bowgun Driftsmelt build. We have the Driftsmelt armor targets, which are the Lumu Male, the AZURE Rathalos Greaves, and the Coral Puke Coil, with our priority being ice attack and our secondary being critical eye and weakness exploit. The priority is to get ice attack level 5 for maximum damage. This can be done with 3 ice attack drift stones. Ice is one of the least flexible elements, sadly, and we're going to slot the rest of the Driftsmelt slots in with critical eye / weakness exploit. Critical eye level 2 is the highest damage combination for the Leggy Light Bowgun, which is the strongest ice light bowgun. For this build, you need the Coral Puke helmet at grade 8, the Palumu Male at grade 8, the Barrier Vambraces at grade 8, the Coral Puke Coil at grade 8, and the AZURE Rathalos Greaves at grade 8. And last but not least, the elemental attack without a driftstone, the Dragon Light Bowgun Driftsmelt build. Our Driftsmelt armor targets do not change, however. You need the Lumu Male, the AZURE Rathalos Greaves, and the Coral Puke Coil. Our priority will be critical eye, with our secondary being weakness exploit. Unfortunately, there is no way to get Dragon Attack level 5 due to no current driftstones giving the skill. However, you do have Slugger level 2, which can work with the Devil Joe Light Bowgun's sticky ammo, which is the good part about it. The priority is to get the best combination of critical eye and weakness exploit for maximum damage. You can substitute critical eye with weakness exploit, but critical eye will permanently offset the negative affinity from Devil Joe Light Bowgun, which is the strongest Dragon Light Bowgun, without having to hit weak spots. For the Dragon Light Bowgun, the critical eye level 4 and Wex level 4 is the highest damage combination. For this build, you need the Devil Joe helmet at grade 8, the Palumu Male at grade 8, the Devil Joe Vambraces at grade 8, the Coral Puke Coil at grade 8, and the AZURE Rathalos Greaves at grade 8. Hopefully this video helps you out with light bowgun Driftsmelt builds. Since drift smelting is so expensive, be sure to plan ahead and use your resources wisely, especially if a major update is coming soon. We're going to have a major update coming soon, so take in consideration whether or not you want to drift smelt something or not. If you're going to use something for the long term, you should probably do it. If you're not going to use it for the long term, you might want to skip out until we figure out what's coming next. But with that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Regardless of whether you decide to drift smelt something or not, it takes a whole lot of luck and a whole lot of dedication. So, I wish you the best of luck in your rolls. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.